I went to Woolworth for a year.
To Woolworth?
Yes.
And how old were you then?
15.
How long were you at Woolworth and what was that like?
Just 1 year. It was quite enjoyable, but I think because at the time there was a Mr. Mitchell who used to be the boss there, and I think because he had a daughter himself who worked there, we always got spoilt. But when he retired, the new one didn't like the young one, so we all left. Within 2 weeks we'd all left. We all went round to Beswick's then. All of us.
All of you? Mm. So you were lucky there were enough spaces at Beswick's. How many was all of us?
There's about 10 of us. It was a lot.
And do you know what year that was?
That would have been 1966 we left Woolworths.
How was that compared to working in a shop, working in a factory?
I thought originally I regretted leaving the shop because it was probably the maths side of it, because we didn't have tills that added up for you. You actually added up in your head, and then, like for change, you had to work that out in your head. Today it's just tills.
Yes.
It does everything for them. And like all this keeping stock where it should be, again, it's very sort of linked to maths again, to keep numbers of everything correctly. So I did, and dealing with public, because I've always loved people. But it took a while, and I nearly left Beswick's, but then I got into it, and then I started learning new jobs in Beswick's.
So what jobs did you do?
I went into it as an assembler, assembling fuses. I'd done that for a few years. Then I'd done a little in dispatch, getting all the products out to the suppliers. And then I'd done some purchasing. And finally I went into the stores, which, by then it'd gone on to shift work, because it was very different to when I started there.
So can you explain the differences? How did it change?
When I started in Beswick's, the hours were 8. We started at 8. Lunch was from 12:30 to 1:30, and you finished at 5. And that was 5 days a week. It was 40 hours you had to work then. Holidays, the whole factory shut down. Now today, they don't work 40 hours. Some work, I think, 37, some 35. And holidays are all staggered. You can take a holiday long as there's enough workers in to keep the products running. Mm. But to me, again, it was better to shut it down and you all had that break together.
And what sort of social life was there?
I think nearly all the factories in Frome, they used to do skittles and darts was the main thing. In down Beswick's, we must have had about 10 teams, skittle teams, and had a few darts teams because that wasn't quite as popular. But I know singers, they used to have their own clubhouse that's known as Tyco now. Butlers and tanners had their own social club. There was quite a few places that done the same thing, but mainly it was skittles and darts.
Because you didn't. So where did you play your skittles and darts?
The skittles we used to play at what was it called? Social Services Club, which is a private house now. And the darts was mainly at South Parade Club, which used to be in a different place to where it is now.
In South Parade Club?
Yes.
So it was just off South Parade?
Yes.
That's
yes,
why
it was.
Called South Parade Club.
That's right. Oh dear.
So Beswick's, you were there until when?
I finished there in 2001.
And
but
what?
I mean, we first of all Jubiliers took Beswick's over, and then we ended up as Bussmann, an American company, bought it up. And that's when it all went to China, so it was just winding the whole place down.
And so it just completely closed.
Yes. Yes.
And was that hard?
Ever so. I think because we were like one big family, most of us there, because we'd been there so long, everybody got on so well, and we just loved doing what we'd done. And it was just, a dream place to work, really. And it was only the last few years when Bussmann took it over, it all started changing, because suddenly it was triple shifts. We had that. And then more and more automation came in, so you couldn't actually speak the whole time you were there. I mean, a lot of the production workers used to say to me, I don't get a chance to even say hello. You've got to walk straight in, put a machine on, and then another machine, then another machine. And they would be running 2 or 3 machines the whole shift.
And it used to be.
And it was noisy, a lot of it, so you couldn't have a conversation. But when I first went there, there was about a dozen of you sat either side of a long bench, and there was quite a few benches in there, and it was all hand assembled. So really it was like a social club. But you managed to get some work done as well. But it was so different.